Picture this. It's late, the kind of late where the city holds its breath. Edinburgh's Royal Mile is empty. The usual throngs of tourists and locals have long since retreated to the warmth of their homes or the buzz of the pubs. The old stones are damp with mist, glistening under the faint glow of the streetlights, and there's a chill that seeps straight to your bones, a cold that no amount of layers can truly keep at bay. Now imagine, just as you pass the shadowy closes near Canongate, those narrow alleyways that seem to swallow the light, you hear it. A woman's cry, a sound filled with anguish and despair. Not nearby, not from the street level, but somewhere above you, echoing between the rooftops, bouncing off the ancient chimney stacks and the Gothic architecture. If you ever do hear that sound, you might want to start praying. Offer up whatever protection you can muster. Because in this city, steeped in history and haunted by countless tales, it's not just a ghost story whispered in pubs. It's a warning, a chilling premonition of what's to come. Back in the early 1700s, when Edinburgh was a much smaller, more tightly packed city, the folk who lived along the Royal Mile whispered about a banshee, a spirit whose scream meant death was close, a harbinger of doom for anyone who heard it. One freezing night, with a biting wind that cut through even the thickest wool coats, a merchant was locking up his shop, securing his wares for the night. As he fiddled with the heavy iron lock, he heard a piercing wail from above, a sound that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He ran straight into the closest tenement, a tall, imposing building that housed dozens of families, banging on the doors, demanding to know who was making such a racket, disturbing the peace with such a mournful cry. But inside, everyone was sound asleep, oblivious to the commotion outside. Not a soul had heard a thing. Not a single person could account for the chilling scream that had echoed through the night. The next morning, the merchant's own brother was found dead in bed. No injury, no illness, nothing to explain the sudden and inexplicable loss. Just gone, as if the cry had called him away, plucked him from the world of the living, and dragged him into the spectral realm. Locals said it wasn't the first time such a tragedy had struck after the Banshee's wail, and it wouldn't be the last. Not as long as the spirit roamed the Royal Mile. Some reckon the ghostly voice belongs to a noblewoman, a lady of high standing in Edinburgh society, wronged and murdered in a fit of jealous rage, her bones buried unceremoniously under the Canongate flagstones, forever bound to the city she once called home. Trapped between worlds, unable to find peace in either life or death, her only way to warn the living of impending doom is that awful heart-stopping scream, a sound that chills the blood and portends tragedy. Others say it's just Edinburgh itself, a city soaked in centuries of grief, stained with the blood of countless battles and the tears of generations, letting out a cry for all the souls lost in its shadows, a collective lament for the pain and suffering etched into its very foundations. But get this, the legend isn't just trapped in the dusty pages of history books. It's not confined to the past. About a decade ago, a local tour guide, a man who knew the Royal Mile like the back of his hand, closed up late, alone on the mile after a particularly long shift. As he turned the key in the lock, securing the entrance to his tour company's office, the wind picked up, swirling around him like a ghostly embrace. And there it was, a woman's voice, wailing from high above, a sound that echoed the ancient tales he often recounted to tourists. He hurried home, shaken to his core by the eerie experience. The following morning, his colleague, a close friend and fellow tour guide, was found dead in their sleep, leaving behind a mystery that continues to haunt those who knew him. He's never set foot on the mile at night since, forever scarred by the chilling encounter and the tragic events that followed. So if you ever find yourself wandering Edinburgh after dark, exploring the historic streets under the cloak of night, and you hear a woman crying from the rooftops, a mournful, piercing wail that seems to cut through the very fabric of reality, don't look up and don't try to find her. Resist the urge to investigate the source of the sound. Just walk on, increase your pace and hope. The scream isn't meant for you, that the Banshee's lament is directed at another soul, someone else destined to meet their end.